I'm sitting here with wet hair because today I am going to do a hair video, which is pretty hilarious because I am literally the world's worst hairdresser. I mean, trust me, you don't want to get your hair blow dried by me. But the reason I'm doing it is because I've had so many requests ever since I started this YouTube channel from people to show how I do my hair, which is naturally slightly wavy. So it's not straight. And of course, results will completely depend on your hair type. So I have thick hair that's sort of wavy to different degrees in different places. I mean, it's so annoying. The waviest part of my hair is the back of my head. Now, what good is that? I don't care about the back of my head because I can't see it. So that's really wavy. That's how I want it all over. But that is no good to me. Couldn't care less about the back of my head. So the bits that I want are the top bits here. Those are the straightest bits of my hair. Sort of round here, also totally straight. These bits are totally straight. If I go underneath, that'll be wavy. I mean, it doesn't look wavy now because it's wet. But I do have a few little tricks up my sleeve, and I'm going to share that with you. The other thing I get asked is people say, well, what products do you use? Because, you know, your hair always looks quite healthy and shiny. So I'm going to show you what I use. I use lots of different things. I love all the natural shampoos from Green People. They do a fabulous, fabulous array of shampoos. But for the last few months, at least sort of 6 months, I've actually been using a new range called Davine. And I have to tell you, I have completely fallen in love with this range. So I was introduced to it by my hairdresser, who is Paul Edmonds. So he has a salon called Paul Edmonds. And he sells all these products on his website. I'm not in the least bit affiliated with them, but this is what I'm using, and I cannot recommend them enough. So what I know of this company is that the products are completely natural. I believe it's an Italian company run by a family, and not only is everything natural and they sort of grow their own ingredients that they use in the shampoos, but they're also incredibly environmentally friendly to an incredible degree, and actually give seminars around the world about it. So this is a company I really want to look into. So what do I use? Well, first of all, just to explain a little bit about my hair. So I am a natural blonde, although I have help. I do have highlights because my hair has got much darker as I've got older. I have very ash coloured hair. So it's, which is a dark ashy, I mean, some might say mousy blonde now, but it's got no warmth in it. So what happens is I have my colour done, and it looks sort of bright and creamy and lovely. And then the hard, hard water of London, which destroys skin and destroys hair, within 2 weeks it begins to dull and the ash comes through. And it's a very cold colour, I think. So what I do with my highlights is I always try and put in very warm colours. But as I said, it dulls down very quickly. So my hairdresser said, well, you know, we've got this new range, Davine, and they have, this is the Alchemic shampoo for natural and coloured hair, and the colour is golden. So it helps revive the golden tints in your hair, of your coloured hair. But the pièce de la résistance is their alchemic conditioner for the same thing, golden for natural and coloured hair. Now, you know, the shampoo is lovely, but the thing that really makes a difference to the colour is this one. And you only use it with every third wash. And it really helps maintain and restore that golden colour. Now, from what I understand from my hairdresser, most blondes who put colour in their hair are trying to do the opposite. They're trying to get rid of the brassiness and cool down the colour. So obviously this wouldn't be for you, but it's really worked for me. So if you're like me, if you're a very ashy blonde and you want to maintain the colour, then that's great. But, you know, their shampoos are all fabulous. As I said, this conditioner you can only use every third condition. So I use one of their other conditioners in between, and this is called Minu conditioner, which smells like heaven. As I said, they're all natural, they're very nourishing. And the amazing thing is that this company, Davine, has an incredible array of products for curly hair and for curling hair. I haven't used all of them. The one I use is called Love Curl Primer, and I'm going to show you how I use it. I just, so before I start, and by the way, if you're interested in any of these products, if you want to get hold of them, as I said, I got them from my hairdresser, Paul Edmonds, and he sells them all on his website, pauledmonds.com. So that's where you'll find them, and it's called Davine, and Davines. So yeah, I mean, for curling your hair, they have got the most amazing products. So I like this one. It's called Curl Primer. And before I start, I just spray it onto my hair all the way around, a little bit underneath as well, a bit on the sides. And the reason I like this, it just seems to work. It really helps to hold that curl, and it doesn't give you that crunchy feeling that some of them do. Now, you know, for years I used those sea salt type sprays for curling, which are great. You know, it does give you that sort of beachy look. But after a few years, those products were really drying my hair out. My hair was getting drier and drier. So I had to stop using them. So I was absolutely delighted to find this. Right. So I have a big toothed comb. I always dry out, which I've already done, is I dry my fringe first, otherwise it dries all funny. So my method is called twist and scrunch. I think I just made that up. The twist and scrunch method. And it's not difficult, because if it was difficult, I wouldn't be able to do it. Right. So what I do is I take little sections of my hair. I've sprayed my product in, not too big, and I twist it. Yep. And I don't do this through all my hair. I do it mostly on the top, because the top of my hair is pretty straight. It's the least wavy part of my hair. And even if the underneath bits are sort of lovely and curly, if the top bits are looking horrible, it's not going to work. So I do that. Then I'll take the side bits, like that, twist, yeah, keep going. Right, so that's about all I do. And then what you need is a towel. Towel is essential. So this towel is a little bit damp, which for some reason is good. I couldn't tell you why. And then I scrunch. So I give my hair, and then I scrunch all over. I don't bother to twist the back. But as I said, the back is quite wavy anyway. So right, now I'm going to do this side. Just twist in little sections. As I said, you know, like 1/2 inch sections. You don't want to make them too big, otherwise it's not going to work. I'll do a little bit underneath there. And then I'll show you how I dry it and how it works. And I will speed some of this up so that you don't it doesn't get too boring. Okay, so I've twisted there. And you can see how that twist creates the curl. And then you just scrunch it. So because my hair is so thick, it does take a while to dry. Now I'm just looking today, and by the way, I'm going to put a bit more in this section. Every day is different with my hair. I'm going to just section that bit there. I'm going to spray some more there. I think because I was setting up, my hair dried before. I normally scrunch and twist when it's sopping wet, and it's not sopping wet anymore. There we go. So yeah, my hair is really thick. So it does take a while to dry, which is a bit of a nightmare in winter. Because in summer, I mean, I have to say this curling and twisting and scrunching works best if you just let your hair dry naturally. So in summer, on a really hot day, that works well. But obviously in winter, that isn't going to work at all. So I used to use a diffuser. You know, they say with curly hair, use a diffuser. Don't bother anymore. So what I do is I will use the hairdryer, and I'll use it on top of my head. I mean, this is just what I do. I don't know if it's any good. And I mean, I'm not putting it on so that you can still hear me. And I go like that. I mean, so I'm doing it from the top of my head and blowing down on my hair. So I'm not disrupting it and making it all frizzy. And I'll go like that. And that will help set it up. Now I'm going to turn my hairdryer on, and I'm going to show you, and I don't do it all in one go. What I'll do is I'll blow dry some of it, and then I'll go off and do something and let it dry a little bit naturally, and then I'll come back and I'll do a bit more, you know, and it, you know, depending how long I've got. If I'm in a hurry, I'll have to do it much quicker. But I find that if I sort of blow dry it a little bit and let it get dry, then that's really going to help the quality of the curl. So, about an hour has passed now since the first section of this video. My hair's still a little bit damp. And so what I'll do is, as I said, I'll use the dryer, I'll go away, I'll come back, I'll retwist bits. As you can see, here is a bit that's, you know, one of my straight bits. So I'll retwist that, give it a little scrunch. I can see that is not going to curl nicely today. So I do have another little trick up my sleeve, but I have to wait until my hair's completely dry. So I'm going to keep going. So I think my hair is finally dry. And we have good news and bad news. As you can see, we've got some nice little beachy curls on this side. But oh dear, look at this side. Yeah, this hasn't done too well, has it? So this is what happens, you see, when I say it's a movable feast. And as I said, the top layer of my hair is very straight. And as I'll show you, even though that was the layer that I twirled, underneath it's much curlier. So it's really annoying. And by the way, just so that you know, so okay, look at this bit. So this bit, it's curlier, but it's a bit frizzy. So what I do is I take a section and I'll twirl it when it's dry and just leave it like that. Or if I think a bit is messy, I'll just do that. So what are we going to do? Well, there is something you can do. And now I'm going to use this. And I know you're wondering what this is. Well, it is a heated wand. And you know, hairdressers, you know, like my hairdresser always uses this heated wand if I go in for a blow dry, and it looks fabulous, but I find them quite tricky. So I don't use that. I sometimes use a straightening iron where you just get the hair and you just twirl it as it goes down. And it does work with a straightening iron. And I used to do that all the time, but it's it flattens the hair. So this came up on my Instagram feed one day, just a bit of promotion. And I went, well, that looks interesting. And it looks kind of foolproof because it has these little nozzles and you twist your hair around into the grooves. So pretty easy. And it is pretty easy. So what is this? It says, I can't remember where or when, it says Lee Stafford on it. So if you're interested in searching it, Lee Stafford, L-E-E, and then Stafford, double F. So I'm going to show you how this works. So first of all, I'm going to put on my little pink glove because this is hot. It's very hot and you can burn yourself. I mean, I've even been known to burn my face, but anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the straight layer. Now here's the thing when I'm doing this. I don't like to make it too curly because it's much more modern and flattering, I think, if it's less curly. So what you do is you go into those little grooves and just leave quite briefly. And you see, we have a little bit of curl in that. So I'm going to do the next section about the same size as when I twisted it. So as you can see, these little grooves do make it easy to do, and you don't want to do it for too long because it'll come out too curly. You just want a little break in the hair, and so that it's not lying straight. So I'm going to just do this through my hair now. So there you go, it's all done, and voila. I did very little on this side. I just did a little bit here. And if ever there's a section that's, you know, looking a bit frizzy or anything, or not quite curly enough, I keep twirling. That's what I do. And as you can see, I just broke up that blanket of straightness into a fairly natural looking curl, I think. And, you know, I speeded it up, but it honestly only took about 2 or 3 minutes. Also, the other thing that this is really good for is the next day, because that's the one thing, because my hair hasn't got a strong curl. You know, if I sleep on it, it looks good on the day I do it, but by the next day, it's not looking good. You know, once I've slept on it, it just looks squashed and flattened and maybe a little frizzier. It's not got the nice fresh curl. And this is really useful with that, because before I had this, it was that's it. And you know, if I'm doing more videos or I'm working or I'm going out, I have to wash my hair again to get the fresh curl. But I really, really don't with this. So with this, I can keep this going for days. And once again, I don't do the whole head. I'll just go for the bits that need it. So that'll once again just be the top bits, or it might be an underneath bit, something like that. And it only takes a few minutes. It never takes me very long. So that's it. Those are all my hair secrets. And I hope that's been helpful. And yeah, and in the summer, I will just shower, scrunch and go. So I'll always do a scrunch. A twist does help. But if I'm in a hurry, I'll just, you know, you can just get out the shower, comb your hair, get the towel, go like that, scrunch, and off you go. And if you've got time, do a twist and a scrunch, and voila.